Coming up next on KPBS Evening Edition, after getting a $2.4 million bill for policing Occupy San Diego, we put city officials and police on the record about their priorities.
And the head of the county's Department of Education says there isn't a single school district in San Diego in financial trouble. It's all about making tough choices, and you guessed it, priorities. KPBS Evening Edition starts now.
Hello, thanks for joining us. I'm Joanne Ferrian.
And I'm Eric Anderson, in for Dwayne Brown.
The Navy says 3,000 mid-career sailors are being given layoff notices. At this moment, there's no word on how many of those sailors are based here in San Diego. The first round of layoffs began last week, and the Navy says more notices will go out next week. It's part of a move to cut military costs.
The Teamsters have expanded a lawsuit against the federal government in a long-running battle to keep Mexican trucks from carrying goods deep into the U.S. The suit calls for an environmental review before a pilot project continues. Teamsters President James Hoffa Jr. says opening the border to the trucks is an attack on the environment, on highway safety, and on American workers. Mexican officials call the move protectionism. The North American Free Trade Agreement granted Mexican truckers access to U.S. roads in the late 1990s.
The carcass of a 67-foot fin whale was towed from Point Loma out to Fiesta Island today. The whale washed ashore earlier this week along with a whale fetus. KPBS environment reporter Ed Joyce has more on the story. Now, Ed, biologists were going to examine the whale today to find a cause of death. Do they have any theories?
Their working theory is that it was killed by a ship strike. These particular species of whales, fin whales, like to ride the pressure waves off the bow of ships, and they get really close to those vessels, and they think that's possibly what happened to kill this particular whale.
Now, a fin whale is also fairly rare, so biologists want to learn as much as they can. They're taking tissue samples. What happens with these tissue samples?
These whales are on the endangered species list. They're not coastal dwellers, so it's rare that they're even close to shore, much less washing ashore. There's been very few of them that have come ashore, strandings, if you will, in California in the last 10, 11 years. These samples will be sent all around the nation to researchers who will establish baselines, hormone baselines, because this particular whale was pregnant, so they'll have baselines they can use for future research. They'll also examine genetics of this fin whale. So it's a rare chance for them to take a rare whale and the samples and use them for future research. Environment reporter Ed Joyce.
Could the alleged sex abuse cover-up at Penn State happen here in California? State Senator Juan Vargas says yes, and now he wants to amend California's sex abuse reporting law. KPBS Metro reporter Katie Orr joins us with details. Katie, what changes does Vargas want to make to the current law?
Eric, Vargas wants to amend the law to require college coaches be required to report sex abuse or possible sex abuse to the police. The current law requires a wide array of people who work with children to report such abuse to the police, including teachers, doctors, youth coaches. But Vargas believes there is a loophole that exempts college coaches from having to do so. He would also like to see the fines and penalties associated with failing to report abuse increased.
Why does he want to make these changes?
Well, Vargas believes that California's law is close to Pennsylvania's. At Penn State, football coaches were harshly criticized for allegedly reporting possible abuse to their superiors at Penn State, but for not notifying the police, which was not illegal under Pennsylvania law. Vargas says a similar situation could happen in California unless the law is changed.
KPBS Metro reporter Katie Orr. Thanks, Katie.
$2.4 million. The cost of freedom or a waste of taxpayer money? That's one of the questions being asked today after San Diego police released a breakdown of what it cost to maintain order at Occupy San Diego protests. About $140,000 was in overtime costs, the rest in redeployment costs. Earlier this month, Mayor Jerry Sanders told KPBS he authorized police to do the initial sweep of the Civic Center Plaza, resulting in dozens of arrests. Well, we reached Councilmember Marti Emerald by phone last night about the police action and the cost. She's chair of the City of San Diego's Public Safety Committee. I asked her whether the $2.4 million was a good use of police resources.
Well, I don't believe so. I think that we need to sit down and talk with the Occupy people, find out what their plan is going forward, and then we also have to build some trust. When police officers pulled back, and lighten the numbers of officers around the Civic Plaza, the Occupy people would come back with their tents and their tarps and their tables and so forth and set up shop, and in violation of our municipal code. And police would have to come back in. So basically, we've got all these bodies standing around to make sure that doesn't happen again. So I think it's really important that somehow we develop maybe some stronger communication, greater sense of trust, so that we can lighten the resources, the police resources in the area, and get them back in the neighborhoods where they can do the most good.
I'm sure there's a lot of people at home right now who are probably saying, why not? That this is, people have a right to protest, First Amendment right. Why are police spending so much money, time, and energy in basically asking them to leave these public spaces?
Well, they're not saying leave the public spaces. I mean, everybody respects the First Amendment right to free expression, and they're being allowed to do that. It's when they bring their tents and their tarps and their bedrolls and tables and food and all of that back into the concourse that we run into problems. It's a public safety sanitation issue. People who are camping out are relieving themselves on walls and stairwells in the bushes. It just adds up to a situation that's not sanitary, and it's not healthy for everybody who has to share that space.
Council member, quickly before we go, what are you going to be asking for anything specifically of the Occupy protesters or of the police department?
Well, I would ask the Occupy people to pledge that they're not going to set up camp, and if they do that, we won't have to assign so many officers to the area. But everybody's needs here have to be respected. I think the rights of the occupiers to express themselves, but also the rights of citizens to use that space, and to be able to do so without fear of running into sanitation problems or rats and other things that have been found in the area because of these campouts.
Council member Marti Emerald, thank you. We'll have to leave it there. Thank you so much for doing this.
You bet.
We did ask the mayor to join us today, however, he was not available. A spokesperson from his office, however, sent the following statement. The police have always consulted with the mayor before taking any significant action re-Occupy San Diego. The mayor supports how the police have handled the Occupy protesters. He thinks they've deployed the appropriate resources and exercised a tremendous amount of common sense and restraint. And that comes from Alex Roth, spokesperson for Mayor Jerry Sanders. Well, joining me now is Lieutenant Andra Brown. She is the Public Information Officer for the San Diego Police Department. Lieutenant, thanks for being here.
Thank you very much for having me.
Let's begin with what direction are police given from the mayor with regard to how to handle protesters and the Occupy movement?
Well, as Alex said, the mayor's office doesn't specifically direct the actions of the police department. There's an ongoing dialogue, sometimes hourly, between the leadership of the police department, Chief Bill Lansdowne, and the mayor and his staff as to how best to handle the Occupy demonstrators, the movement, any marches and the demonstration site and such that goes along with the movement.
So that would be with regard also, there's certain ordinances in place with regard in terms of police looking at what is on the table, whether or not they're in violation of these ordinances.
And, and before the police department takes any significant action, we've, to this date, had 3 sweeps that were related to the demonstrators. We've also sought legal input. We have legal advisors that are on staff with the police department from the city attorney's office to make sure that the ordinances that we're enforcing are in fact legal and that the manner in which we're enforcing them is legal. So we're definitely dotting the I's and crossing the T's before we take any sort of action.
Now, you gave us a breakdown yesterday of costs, and one of the things in this breakdown, there was a significant amount of money, I think it was $2.2 million in terms of resources that were redeployed. Police officers that were at Occupy protests rather than being in neighborhoods. Yes. So are there any specific examples where because of that redeployment, police were not able to respond to a crime or something else in a neighborhood?
Actually, we're very glad to say that there have been no instances that the police department has not been able to handle due to the redeployment. As an example, just yesterday we had the gentleman that was on 30th Street over State Route 94 from about 2 o'clock yesterday afternoon until almost 9 o'clock this morning. And that was a significant drain on resources because it took San Diego police officers to close State Route 94 in both directions and all of the access ramps, as well as dealing with crowds that gather to look at that kind of thing, as well as the negotiators. And we clearly had enough staff to deal with that while still maintaining our presence down at the Occupy demonstration site. So that's just an example of something pretty significant that was another big drain on resources that we clearly had enough resources to take care of it.
We've also seen examples in other locations. UC Davis with the pepper spray. We've heard anecdotally people talking about in the initial sweep here in San Diego, police, they got pepper sprayed. We've seen some video of that. Also, some allegations of police using force. Have there been any formal complaints filed against the San Diego Police Department with regard to the arrests?
You know, I'm not aware of any, aside from the injunction or the temporary restraining order that the group sought in court yesterday, which has not been decided, so we can't talk about that. But that's about the only formal action that I'm aware of that's been taken against the police department. Yes, we're aware that there have been some use of force by officers. There was some pepper spray deployed. We have, on occasion, had to take subjects to the ground in order to gain control of them because they were combative with each other. I mean, we've had to break up some fights, and we've also had to use a little bit of force at times to take them into custody. And any time there's a use of force, first it has to be documented, and it's always reviewed. So there's internal reviews that are going on, ongoing all the time. And of course, people are always complaining about the way that we do things at times because they don't like us being there, don't like us doing our job. So anytime an allegation like that is brought to our attention, we're more than willing to look at it because we want to make sure that we do everything clean.
Okay, Lieutenant Andrew Brown, thanks for being here.
You're very welcome.
History books tell us the first Thanksgiving featured foods native to America, like corn and turkey. As we get ready for this Thanksgiving, we'll take a look at native foods here in the American Southwest. A feast could be growing in your own backyard. We'll show you in a moment. This is KPBS Evening Edition.
Tonight on KPBS at 8. Since their protection as an endangered species, bald eagles have come roaring back. But it's still a struggle in the nest, as you'll see on Nature, American Eagle. Then at 9, cutting-edge theories suggest that our universe may not be the only universe, on Nova, Fabric of the Cosmos. And at 10, scientists unite 5 different versions into a single string theory, on Nova, Elegant Universe. That's tonight on KPBS.
In the last year, KPBS News has been honored with nearly 3 dozen awards. I'm extremely proud of these honors, and I thank you for your support as we continue to serve our local communities with award-winning news coverage in the years to come.
I'm Jeffrey Brown. On the next News Hour, an interview with Republican presidential candidate and Minnesota Representative Michelle Bachmann. That's Wednesday on the PBS News Hour.
KPBS Evening Edition is made possible by Joan and Erwin Jacobs and by
A nonpartisan report says a ballot measure to shut down California's 2 nuclear power plants would lead to higher electricity rates. The state legislative analyst also says the proposed Nuclear Waste Act would lead to rolling blackouts. The San Onofre and Diablo Canyon plants supply 16% of the state's power. The proposed measure would close them until the federal government can permanently dispose of high-level nuclear waste. The measure's supporters have until mid-April to collect enough signatures to put it on the November ballot. We've heard a lot about the financial problems of San Diego schools in recent weeks. Joanne is talking with an expert on schools with money trouble over at the Evening Edition Roundtable.
For the past several weeks, the county's largest school district, San Diego Unified, has been contemplating the possibility of insolvency, especially now that mid-year cuts to the district seem imminent. Joining me now is Randy Ward, San Diego County School Superintendent. And before coming to San Diego, he was the state-appointed administrator for 2 bankrupt California school districts. Randy, thanks for being here.
Thank you for having me.
So you actually took over at, was it Oakland and Compton?
Oakland and Compton.
So what happens when a school district is insolvent and you step in? What's your role?
Well, first of all, insolvency means they ran out of cash, they can't pay their bills. They need a loan from the state of California. State of California presents a bill, gives them a loan, and says, for this loan, before you get this, we get the authority of the district, and we send somebody down there to make sure this doesn't happen again, and you're going to pay this loan back. They hire somebody to do that. They did that with me. I did that for 10 years. And first thing you have to do is stop the bleeding. It's really a triage situation. There's bleeding going on. You have to figure out where it's coming from, and you have to stop it immediately. And usually it's in position control, budget monitoring, overtime, just a lot of different spots. It's kind of death by a thousand cuts.
So what happens to the board or even the superintendent that are in place before you step in?
The board is placed as an advisory board. And, you know, sometimes you meet with them regularly. They sit on the dais. Other times I've known of state administrators to take them off the dais. Certainly in Oakland, they all had offices, they all had staff, they all had budgets, etc. All that was wiped out, including their cell phones.
Wow. So could this be seen as a way out for San Diego Unified? Okay, we can't pay our bills, we don't know what to do. State, come in and save us.
No. The last thing you want to do is go into state bankruptcy, have a state takeover person come in. Mostly because now, it used to be where you would come in and you'd get a loan from the state at 1.5%, 2%. That hadn't, because the state itself is bankrupt, that has now turned into you have to go to a bank, literally a bank. And the King City was the most recent bankruptcy district in the Northern California, and they're paying over 5% interest. So just imagine 5% every year going into nothing but paying back a loan. Those are all resources that are not being used for children.
So I imagine you would be faced with the tough decisions. You would close schools. You would lay off teachers. I mean, you would do all of these things that our school board is having a tough time doing.
You do all the things that should have been done prior to you coming in. That's the low part of the fruit. That's the low fruit. And so then you begin to look at other ways to stabilize the district so that there's a structural budget that goes on and on. But some districts are continually losing money from the state. They're continually losing students and enrollment. So there's a constant cycle of cutting your budget.
So we're looking at San Diego Unified. For weeks now, they're saying we're close to insolvency. Should they be doing something right now? What should they have been doing so that they're not at this point?
Well, I'm not going to speak to what districts should do, could have, would have, should have. But certainly many districts in San Diego County, there's 42 of them, have made the right decisions. And you know what surprises me is how well we're still doing. That students still are improving in achievement, et cetera, with 20 to 30% less revenue. And so that is because of the good work of our teachers and our staff out there. They're doing a great job, and our community and parents. So that's to be commended. But this is one of the longest recessions any of us have ever seen, and it's year after year after year of constantly looking at what needs to be reduced, and we're always looking at what won't hurt kids the most. And it's getting to the point.
What hurts them the most?
It's getting to the point where, yeah, it's getting to the point where student programs are disappearing, tutoring programs, prevention programs, good stuff that should be happening for all students are only happening for some, and some not happening for any. So, you know, it's interesting. Class size has always been a major issue for folks, yet most of there's no research that supports that class size makes a grand difference.
Isn't it the number of school days? Doesn't that make the difference in performance?
Certainly, number of school days, if there's quality education going on, number of school days, amount of time, etc. And yet, we're going the other direction, taking days off the school year, cutting into our days, etc. Because class sizes now are probably the largest they've ever been throughout the state of California. Yet, the state of California continues to improve. And as a parent of a second and third grade in our public school system in San Diego County, I understand why class size is a sexy thing, but it's not necessarily the most effective.
Just before we go, you have this big view now in your position, County Board of Ed, 42 school districts. How many of them do you see, including San Diego Unified, headed for trouble where they've got to act quickly?
None of them are headed for trouble. None of them. It's all up to those districts and how they control how close they get to big trouble. Now, that's not to say that these deferred payments from the state and the less revenue. I mean, think of it. Your viewers, you have a household that you have to take care of. I have one. Imagine if this studio said, you know, we can't pay you your paycheck. We're only going to give you half your paycheck, and we'll pay you the rest of your paycheck 6 months from now. But you still have bills.
They got to deal with that. We're going to keep following the story. We've got to go for now. But Randy Ward, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Tired of waiting in line at the supermarket during the holiday season? Well, there may be some foods you can harvest right out your back door. From our Fronteras desk, Jill Replogle introduces us to some native foods that are making a comeback in the Southwest.
Here's a couple that I saw yesterday, the little, see right there, you can see the shadow.
Deborah Small and Lydia Vassar spend a lot of time wandering the hillsides and arroyos of North County. Here they're looking at dried chia flowers.
Here's a little chia skeleton right here.
Virtually ignored for centuries, the seeds of these flowers have become a popular health food product in recent years. For one thing, they're rich in omega-3 fatty acids.
People have been using it here for thousands of years. It was really one of the very important staples.
Small and Vassar aren't just on the lookout for chia seeds. There's a wide variety of wild edible plants growing in San Diego County and throughout the Southwest that many of us pass right by. Several of these foods are making a comeback in grocery stores and farmers markets, and some people are rediscovering their hunter-gatherer roots by going out and harvesting themselves.
Nice and dry.
Here in Tucson, Arizona, people are lined up to have mesquite beans processed by a community mill. Mesquite trees grow across the Southwest desert from Texas to southeastern California, as well as in northern Mexico. Mesquite was an essential source of fibers, fuel, and food for Native American groups. The sweet, nutty beans can be ground up and made into a flour. Mesquite flour has become popular in recent years at Arizona farmers markets and specialty stores. Bodie Robbins uses mesquite flour in his pies and cookies. He harvests the mesquite beans from his land outside of Tucson.
Mesquite is a miracle food. It's no gluten, high protein, natural occurring sugars, and it grows on trees. It's free.
Mesquite's nutritional properties are what have attracted a lot of people, especially those diagnosed with gluten intolerance and diabetes.
The soluble fiber helps to lower your blood sugar. It basically slows down the release of sugars in your digestive tract.
While some modern desert dwellers are just discovering mesquite, for others, it was a childhood snack.
Well, I grew up in Texas, actually. And as a young boy, my buddies and I, my brothers, we'd actually have mesquite trees out in the back fields, and we'd always eat mesquite pods. I mean, it's just a natural thing. We'd go out there and just start chewing on them, and that's all you do is just chew on them. It's almost like a sugar cane.
But Aragon says until recently, he didn't realize the beans had health benefits. Yeah. Back in California, Small and Vassar also tout the health and medicinal benefits of many wild foods. Vassar is a member of the Luiseño tribe, and she teaches children about native plants at the Pechanga Tribal School in North County. Growing next to this agave plant, she spots a white sage.
But we have it growing at the school, and the kids will peel off the stalks when they're fresh coming out and eat it, and just eat it like celery.
Of course, harvesting wild plants may not be a problem if just a few people are doing it, but if certain plants get too popular or harvesters get too greedy, those plants might not be available for future generations. Small has a solution.
I've got this plant growing on my porch. We really try and encourage everyone to, if people are going to be using them, to plant them if they can.
And you can buy many native foods at grocery stores, whether bought off the shelf or picked from the hills around their homes. It's the taste of native foods that keeps these ladies captivated.
It's really good. It is. It's really good.
Not sewage sludge.
That report from Jill Replogle, who adds that if you are inspired to go out and harvest, you do need to be careful. Some wild foods can be harmful, so do your research before you start picking. This is KPBS Evening Edition.
Tuesday at 10 on KPBS.
I love KPBS because when I wake up in the morning and that radio station goes on, 89.5 goes on, I know that I am going to get information that I can trust, that I can respect, that I can value, and I know I'm getting the truth.
This house is going to see such life.
Lives begun.
This is our first proper home.
Lives changed. Lives lived. Upstairs, downstairs.
Returns Thursday beginning at 9 on KPBS.
Welcome back to the Public Square on KPBS Evening Edition. So let's re-ask the question tonight. $2.4 million, the cost of freedom or a waste of taxpayers' money? As you heard, police tallied up the cost of policing Occupy San Diego. San Diego Mayor Jerry Sanders has the final say to authorize the police action and then to pay for it. Should the city let protesters set up camp? Should they continue policing the Civic Center Plaza? Or does it even matter what it costs? After all, we're talking about First Amendment rights. What do you think? You can weigh in on the conversation by following us on Twitter, liking us on Facebook, and of course, you can email me directly, jfarian@kpbs.org, and I love receiving your emails. And now, Eric has a recap of tonight's top stories.
Joanne, the Navy says it's getting ready to send layoff notices to mid-career sailors next week. 3,000 sailors are being laid off. It's a cost-cutting measure. There's no word yet on how many of the layoffs will be here in San Diego. And marine biologists have taken tissue samples from that dead fin whale that washed up in Point Loma. They believe the animal may have been killed after being hit by a ship. You can watch or comment on any of the stories you saw tonight on our website, kpbs.org/evening edition. Thank you for joining us and have a great evening and a happy Thanksgiving. We leave you with a look at the holiday forecast.